I'm here in Belgium with junior WRC driver and WRC eSport champion Jon Armstrong. What do you know about Belgium?
Big cuts, super fast, and it's going to be pretty muddy.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I was at Rally Ypres with Team Fordzilla as a guest of M Sport Ford to see the cars, drivers and the team up close, and to find out more about the touch points between the sim and real world. Jon is almost uniquely qualified to talk about this in the rally space, so he took me out onto a stage during the Recce to find out how all of that works, discuss pace notes and to learn some of the lingo.
So the Recce is whenever we make our pace notes for the rally, and the pace notes are like a detailed description of the track ahead of us. So we would go up the stage, I would say what I see in front of me, like a 6 left would be a fast corner. The co-driver writes it down in his pace note book, and then we'll have a second pass to check all the notes and make sure they're perfect.
And is there ever a situation where you and the co-driver disagree over what the pace note should be?
Sometimes, yeah, but in general, it's the driver's view of the road. Sometimes if the co-driver thinks, oh, that's too fast, he'll let me know. Whenever we're driving down a road like in front of us, we're trying to detail the severity of the corner. There's many different methods to do that, but usually by eye is the best because your eye generally never lies. Sometimes you can use the amount of steering input that you're actually doing on the corner. That can be a good guide, but generally you want to use that in conjunction with just visually what you can see.
So it's obviously not just the pace of the corners as well, it's the distances between them. It's also presumably things like in this open area we're in here, how much you can cut or not cut.
Yeah, there's lots of detail that we put into the notes. Obviously you've got your corners, you've got the distance between the corners, which we mark in meters, like 100 meters, or we don't say meters, just say 100. We detail how much we can cut the inside of the corners, which is a big feature in Rally Ypres because they don't put any sort of blockers in to stop you from cutting, and there's many opportunities to go to the inside of the corner and just hook a wheel off and in the inside of the ditch just to carry a little bit more corner speed to open up the radius of the corner. But of course, if there's some dangers in there that we don't want to cut, we'll also put that in the notes. You might say like big cut, half cut, and yeah, I use even things like clip, which is like just a teeny little bit of a cut. But it all matters whenever you get there on the stage because you never remember the stage off by heart. So the more detail you can get into your pace notes, the better. But of course, you don't want too much detail or the co-driver won't be able to get it read out all in time. So there's always a balance to be struck.
Inevitably, conversation turned to the sim racing side of things. How Jon became involved in the development of the Dirt Rally series, what benefit real-world experience brings to the sim and vice versa, and how he got started in both disciplines.
My father, he was into rallying, and also he was a mechanic on rally cars, so I used to be able to get really close to some of the cars, and that really sparked my interest. And then from there, I started playing video games like Colin McRae Rally, and I really just got used to driving on Richard Burns and stuff like that and figuring out how to slide the car and counter steering and understeer, oversteer, all those things. You always want to try and give it a go in real life, and we started off by doing sort of grassroots motorsport whenever I was 13 on rally sprints, which are a bit like sort of like a single venue rally. And then it sort of snowballed from there. If you've got the motivation and you want to keep going in your career, you'll get opportunities and you just have to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, how much has the preparation in the sim transferred over to the real world?
Well, I think whenever I was younger, one of the big things that I learned from rally games was how to listen to the pace notes, and you get a good feeling for how you have to adjust your speed accordingly to each call and how you can really drive fast on a blind road just by using co-driver calls. With realistic games, you'll learn how to, control the car, oversteer, understeer, how to pitch the car into a slide and control it. So those are the big things that you can learn. At the moment, I'll be using, rally games to try different setups with the car and see how that influences the way it feels on the track. And I'm still training for real events with rally games at the minute, so I think it's a really powerful tool. Even things like VR really brings a lot closer to reality for me personally, just because it feels like you're sat in the car and you can look to your apexes and see the difference in the elevation change, which we get a lot in rallying too. So yeah, it's the little things that can make it feel a lot more realistic.
Well, one of the other areas, you're actually involved in game development as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about?
For me to get into the games industry, it was always a dream, but I didn't know how that would happen. And just being involved in the sim racing community and showing interest, in particular the Dirt Rally franchise, and communicating with the devs as someone from a public point of view that done rallying, that was something that they really found interesting. And if I wasn't a full-time rally driver, I would say that would be the next thing that I would like to do. So yeah, it came around in sort of a backwards way, but it's really, really cool to do it.